The atmosphere in the X Factor UK arena was electric, yet tense. A diverse choir, composed of members from different backgrounds and ages, quietly made their way onto the grand stage, their nerves masked by a determined composure. The bright stage lights reflected off their matching attire, and the cameras captured every subtle movement, shaking hands, deep breaths, and the occasional encouraging glance between members. The audience murmured among themselves, some skeptical, some intrigued. Many had never heard of this choir before, and whispers ran through the crowd, can they really compete with the big names? At the judges' table, Simon Cowell sat with his trademark expression of calculated indifference, arms crossed, eyes scanning the stage with sharp scrutiny. Beside him, other judges leaned forward, curiosity piqued by the sight of the choir's size and diversity. Despite the tension, there was a palpable energy in the air, an unspoken promise that something remarkable was about to happen. The choir leader stepped forward, signaling the group to begin. The first notes emerged, tentative and soft, filling the arena with a delicate harmony. Slowly, the voices gained strength and confidence, weaving together in an intricate blend that seemed to surprise even the performers themselves. The audience leaned forward in anticipation, sensing that they were witnessing something unique. The camera captured close-ups of focused faces, from the youngest member, eyes wide with determination, to the oldest, pouring years of experience into each note. As the performance continued, a quiet tension transformed into awe. Each note carried emotion, each harmony resonated in the hearts of the audience, and even Simon Cowell's expression began to betray a flicker of surprise. The stage, once intimidating, now became a canvas where passion and talent converged. In that moment, it was clear, the underdogs were about to defy every expectation. As the choir progressed, their performance transformed from promising to mesmerizing. Each member's voice intertwined seamlessly, forming a rich tapestry of harmony that seemed to fill every corner of the X Factor arena. The choir leader's movements guided them with precision, yet allowed the music's natural emotion to flow freely. What had started as tentative notes now swelled into a full-bodied sound that captivated everyone present. The audience, initially curious, was now leaning forward, completely absorbed by the unexpected brilliance unfolding before them. The judges exchanged subtle glances, whispers barely audible but full of astonishment. Simon Cowell, usually quick with critique, remained silent, his sharp eyes fixed on the choir, his expression softening in disbelief. There was something undeniably magical in the way these voices, diverse in tone and timbre, merged into a single, cohesive sound that was greater than the sum of its parts. Close-ups captured the choir members' determination, the youngest, lips trembling slightly, yet never missing a note, the oldest, eyes closed, pouring years of experience and emotion into each phrase. The music rose and fell with dramatic effect, moments of delicate vulnerability giving way to powerful crescendos that left the audience breathless. Every note seemed to resonate not only in the arena but in the hearts of those listening, creating a shared emotional experience that transcended age, background, and expectation. By the time they reached the midpoint, it was clear that this performance was extraordinary. The energy in the room was electric, charged with anticipation and admiration. Even the most skeptical viewers could not deny the choir's talent and passion. What had begun as a cautious entrance was now a statement. These underdogs were here to make a lasting impression, and the audience, and Simon Cowell, would never forget this moment. As the choir approached the final chorus, the atmosphere in the X Factor arena became almost electric. Every member leaned into the music with absolute focus, their voices layering in complex harmonies that seemed impossible to produce in such perfect synchrony. The energy on stage was palpable, the kind that makes an audience hold its breath collectively. Notes soared, intertwined, and cascaded in ways that were both powerful and delicate, leaving the judges momentarily speechless. Simon Cowell, known for his rarely expressed praise, was leaning forward now, eyes wide, lips slightly parted in genuine astonishment. For the first time in the season, the audience saw a flicker of vulnerability in his usually steely demeanor. The choir's timing, pitch, and emotional delivery were flawless, each crescendo and pause meticulously executed yet overflowing with heartfelt passion. The sheer scale of their talent was undeniable, an underdog story reaching its moment of triumph. Camera angles captured every reaction, audience members standing, some wiping tears from their eyes, others clapping frantically, fellow judges exchanging incredulous glances, unable to hide their amazement. Backstage crew paused, mesmerized by the performance, while lights swept across the stage in dramatic rhythm with the choir's final, soaring notes. When the last note rang out, the arena was suspended in a beat of stunned silence. Then, like an emotional avalanche, applause erupted. The sound was deafening, echoing the awe and excitement that had gripped every person in the room. The choir members stood together, faces flushed, some trembling, some beaming, realizing that what they had created was far more than a performance, it was a moment of pure magic. Simon Cowell, still catching his breath, looked as though he had witnessed something historic, a performance that would linger in his memory forever. The applause had barely begun to settle when Simon Cowell, standing amidst the roar of the audience, broke his usual composed demeanor. He leaned forward, clapping with genuine enthusiasm, eyes shining with astonishment. "That," he exclaimed, his voice carrying across the arena, "is the best choir I have ever seen on X Factor UK." The word sent a ripple of disbelief and joy through the choir members, who exchanged stunned glances, some covering their mouths, others gripping each other's hands. The judges, equally stunned, nodded in agreement. One leaned in to whisper praise, while another wiped a tear from her cheek, unable to contain the emotion stirred by the performance. Simon walked closer to the choir, his signature stern presence replaced by genuine admiration. He praised their technical mastery, their emotional delivery, and, most importantly, their unity. Every word seemed to lift the choir higher, validating the countless hours of practice, dedication, and sacrifice that had brought them to this moment. Back in the audience, cheers intensified, voices rising in chants of encouragement. Cameras captured every intimate detail, tears glistening on the choir members' faces, hands clutching each other in elation, and Simon Cowell's rare display of heartfelt praise. It was a moment of triumph that transcended competition, a recognition not just of talent, but of heart, courage, and the ability to move people through music. As Simon finished speaking, the choir members hugged, some laughing, some crying, their emotions overflowing. The energy in the arena was electric, a perfect blend of admiration, awe, and inspiration. In that instant it was clear, this was not just a performance, it was a historic moment on X Factor UK, a declaration that the underdogs had truly arrived, leaving an indelible mark on everyone present. Backstage, the choir was a whirlwind of emotions. Laughter, tears, and disbelief mixed together as members hugged, jumped, and wiped away tears of joy. Smartphones buzzed incessantly, clips of their performance were already going viral, flooding social media with thousands of shares, likes, and comments praising their astonishing talent. Fans from around the world commented in real time, calling them the best choir ever, and marveling at their ability to leave Simon Cowell, the notoriously critical judge, utterly speechless. Reporters and camera crews surrounded the group, eager for interviews. Microphones were thrust forward as journalists asked about their preparation, emotions, and the secret behind their perfect harmonies. The choir, still processing the magnitude of what had just happened, spoke humbly yet passionately, crediting hours of practice, unwavering teamwork, and their love for music. Every answer was met with cheers and applause, reinforcing the overwhelming impact of their performance. Meanwhile, Simon Cowell's declaration continued to reverberate online and on television. Clips of him praising the choir as the best ever were shared endlessly, cementing the group's place in X Factor history. Headlines flashed across screens worldwide, celebrating the underdogs who had turned into overnight sensations. Fans waited outside, hoping for a glimpse of their new idols, waving signs and chanting the choir's name. Amid the chaos, the choir members gathered together for a quiet moment, breathing in the reality of their sudden fame. They exchanged smiles, tears, and silent gratitude, knowing that their journey had only just begun. This wasn't just a moment of victory, it was the start of a life-changing chapter, one that promised opportunities, recognition, and the fulfillment of dreams that once seemed distant. The performance that had stunned the judges and captivated the audience would now live forever as a legendary milestone in X Factor UK history.